The LEGO Star Wars May 1st, 2025 wave just released with a lot of banger sets, and I've reviewed every single one of them, so if you want to, you can go check them out on my channel. However, we are not even halfway through 2025 yet, so that means there are still a lot of sets to come. And if you've been keeping up with the leaks for the past few months, you know there's a lot of heavy hitters. Now, I made a video on this a few months ago back in February, however, a lot of information has changed on these sets since I originally made that video, so this video is going to be a little updated one, and if you're wondering, everything in this video should be finalized. I'd be pretty surprised if any of this information changes again, and if it does somehow change again, of course I'll make videos on it. But anyway, starting off with June 1st, just a few weeks from now, we're getting 3 new sets, and these sets have already been revealed already, and most of you guys have probably seen them, so I'm not going to talk about them for too long. However, first up we have 75400 Plo Koon's Jedi Starfighter Microfighter with 89 pieces and a retail price of $15 US, and I think this set looks great. The Microfighter build is actually pretty cool and sleek looking, and then of course you have the updated Plo Koon figure, the first Plo Koon figure since 2014, 11 years ago. And yeah, compared to the old one, this is a great improvement. The head mold looks amazing. And then of course you also have the head of his droid there, which I mean, I guess is cool that they included, but for $15, I mean, I think they could have just included the whole figure. Although regardless, this looks like a good microfighter. I'm happy with the build. I usually don't like microfighter builds, but this one looks good. And I'm happy with the Plo Koon figure. It looks amazing, and I'm so happy he's finally returning. Next up, we have 75411 Darth Maul Mech with 143 pieces and a retail price of $18 US, and that's its new increased price point because of tariffs. Its original price point was $15 US, and unsurprisingly, price increases like this are going to be a common theme throughout this video. Almost every set has had its price increased. Regardless though, this Darth Maul mech looks alright. I'm not a big fan of the mechs. I think they're kind of a ridiculous concept for Star Wars. I liked Luke's mech from last year, and I also liked Boba Fett's the year before that. However, other than that, I haven't really been a big fan of these things. But it is cool that we're getting Darth Maul in a cheaper set. Now, this isn't the Darth Maul that released last year in the Sith Infiltrator. It's the Clone Wars Season 7 Darth Maul that I'm pretty sure is technically a new figure. There's something different with the face print from the one that we got in 2020. But yeah, Darth Maul himself is really the only highlight of this thing. The mech itself for me is just take it or leave it. And then lastly for June, we have a battle pack, that being 75412 Death Trooper and Night Trooper battle pack with 119 pieces and a retail price of $23 US, its original price being $20, which is just kind of crazy. Now, yes, I know battle packs have been $20 for the past 3 or 4 years. However, $23 is just kind of hard to swallow. Either way though, the set itself is kind of interesting. I mean, the figures look great. I'm actually happy with them. I think those Death Night Troopers are awesome. It's also cool that we're getting the same Night Trooper that came out last year in the Peridia set. And then you have the one with the gray helmet. I've seen a lot of people hating on this just because the gray looks so off from the white. And yeah, I could definitely understand where people are coming from that, but I don't really care. Overall, I think the figure lineup in this build is cool, but as you can tell, that build is ridiculous. I honestly think this is going to go down as probably the ugliest battle pack build of all time. It looks like a freaking smart car or something. I mean, it's bad. This thing is so ugly, but hey, at least the figures are cool. Next up, we have July. We're getting one set on July 1st, which is kind of unusual. LEGO doesn't usually release sets in July, but this year we're getting one, and it's another one that's already been revealed already, so most of you guys have probably already seen this, and that's 75428 Battle Droid with Stap with 1,088 pieces and a retail price of $140. Now get this, the price of this set has actually been changed twice. Before tariffs, its original price was $100, then it got raised to $130, but then after it got raised to $130, LEGO just went ahead and added an extra $10 on there for seemingly no reason, and now it's $140, which is just absolutely insane. I think it was perfect at $100. I'd say it could even go up to $120, but anything above $120 for this is kind of ridiculous. On top of that, from what I know, this is also going to be a retailer exclusive. Now, I'm not sure which store it's actually exclusive to. I've heard that it's Target, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Either way though, it's a retailer exclusive for $140, but price aside, the set itself actually looks surprisingly good, and from what I've seen online, most people are actually hyping this up quite a bit, and I mean, it's pretty obvious why. The stat build itself is absolutely incredible. I mean, it looks really good, and then of course you have the buildable battle droid, which also looks good. His head is a bit questionable, but I mean, that's kind of a common theme with these buildable characters, but I mean, overall, it looks good. I'm excited to get this, although it's very overpriced. $140 is wild. Anyways though, now moving on to August, we are getting 9 sets on August 1st, and these are all the massive play sets that everyone's been hyping up all year. They're all releasing on August 1st. I've been seeing a lot of people complaining online that we didn't get enough play sets in the May 4th wave this year, and that's because, well, all the play sets are coming in August. And the first one, of course, is a new turbo tank, set number 75413, with 813 pieces and a retail price of $160. Its original retail price was $150 before tariffs, and it's going to include Commander Bakara, 2 Galactic Marines, and Ki-Adi-Mundi. And yes, that is a very strange figure lineup for a turbo tank. We never saw Galactic Marines with a turbo tank. We only saw them with the UT-AT. And speaking of the UT-AT, if you didn't know already, this set kind of replaced that rumor. For a few months, this set actually was rumored to be a UT-AT, but then just recently, within like the past 3 weeks, I want to say, the set's identity actually turned out to be a turbo tank, and from what I know, it's not going to change again. We're actually getting a turbo tank with Galactic Marines. And speaking of Galactic Marines, there's actually been a leak of Commander Bakara's helmet that you can find on Discord or Reddit. I'm not going to put it in this video because I don't want to get copyright striked, but still, it's out there. I'm sure it's not too hard to find. And on top of the Commander Bakara helmet leak, there's also been a sketch of this build that's been going around lately. I honestly don't really know where this picture came from, but from what I've been hearing, a leaker who's seen this set, I guess, drew this picture. I have no idea, but from what I'm hearing, you could kind of somewhat expect the build to look like this sketch right here. And I think it's safe to say that the build itself is going to be a lot smaller than the other turbo tanks we've gotten. Yes, even the 2016 model, which honestly really scares me. I mean, $160 is kind of a crazy price point, especially for a set that's going to be smaller than the 2016 model. But hey, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Anyways though, next up we have a Rebuild the Galaxy Season 2 set, that being 75414, a hot rod snowspeeder with 349 pieces and a retail price of $55 US. Its original price was $50 US, including Sig and Dev Greebling, as well as a green Duros. And if you don't know what a Duros is, it's the Cad Bane species, and in this set, I guess we're getting a green one instead of a blue one. And it looks like the build is going to be a red and yellow hot rod themed snowspeeder. And I mean, that's cool, I guess. I don't really have a whole lot to say. The Rebuild the Galaxy sets from last year were pretty cool and got a lot of hype, if you guys remember. But I think this one, unlike those, is probably going to go under the radar. Up next, we have a set that I don't think is getting talked about enough. I am super excited for this thing, that being an 18 plus ATST, set number 75417, with 1,513 pieces and a retail price of $200 US, which is its original price point. This set is not being affected by tariffs for some reason. And from what I know, it's an 18 plus display model ATST, except it's not a UCS set. And I mean, to be honest, I'm all for this. One, because the 2006 UCS AT is such an awesome set, and I'm so excited to see a modernized version of that. And two, the concept of UCS style display vehicles that aren't UCS sets is actually kind of a really good idea in my opinion, because it opens the door for UCS style vehicles that might not be worthy of an actual UCS set. For instance, like this ATST for $200, or maybe like a $100 Jedi Interceptor or a $100 Naboo Starfighter. Sets along those lines that would be really awesome as 18 plus display sets, but aren't quite worthy of an entire UCS set. So if this set ends up selling well, I really hope LEGO continues on with this concept, because there's a lot of potential. Next up for August, we have another buildable character, and it's actually not a droid this time. It's a buildable Ewok, set number 75430, with 1,010 pieces and a retail price of $120. Its pre-tariff price was $90, and it's going to include one minifigure, which is probably obviously going to be an Ewok, and I'd assume it's probably going to be Wicket. And also, like the Battle Droid, this is going to be a retailer exclusive, although I'm not sure which store it's going to be exclusive to. It might be Target, it might be Walmart, we don't know yet. Regardless though, I'm really curious to see what this set is going to look like. All of the buildable droids that LEGO has made recently have been pretty much perfect. I mean, they've all looked incredible. However, this isn't a buildable droid, and the last non-droid buildable character we got was Chewbacca back in 2023, and we all know how that set turned out. So because of him, I'm kind of worried about this set, but I'm still really curious to see what it's going to look like. And then next up, we have a very anticipated set for August, that being 75431 327th Star Corps Battle Pack with 258 pieces and a retail price of $45 US. Its original price was $40, and the minifigures are going to be 4 327th Troopers and 3 Super Battle Droids, and the builds are going to be a 327th ATRT along with a Dwarf Spider Droid and a little bit of random terrain that's based off Felucia. And some of you actually might have seen that preliminary pictures of this set actually leaked already. I'm not going to show them in this video for obvious reasons, but if you want to see them, they're not too hard to find. But if you have already seen them, you know this set doesn't look the greatest. The builds are really small. Based off the one preliminary image that leaked, it looks like about a $30 set, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see when it comes out. Although on the other hand, it is exciting that we're finally getting 327th Troopers. Next up for August, we have a set that I'm personally really excited for, that being 75432 V19 Torrent with 567 pieces and a retail price of $65. Its original price was $60, and it's going to include 3 minifigures, a Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Clone Wars Asajj Ventress, along with a new Phase 1 clone pilot. And from what I've heard, he's actually going to have a correct helmet, because you know the Phase 1 clone pilots don't have fins on the back of their helmet and the LEGO versions do. So apparently in this set, LEGO has finally fixed it and it's accurate now. And as for the build itself goes, I mean, I assume it's going to be downsized from the original one that came out in 2008. However, as good as that old one is, I mean, it is pretty outdated. So I'm expecting this one to be a lot more detailed and a lot more modernized and just overall a better build. Another thing I'm excited for about this set is the wing functionality. The older one is super cool, where you'd basically just pick it up and the wings and landing gear will all fold into position by themselves. It's super satisfying, one of the coolest play features on any LEGO Star Wars set ever, so because of that, I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with this one. Oh, and also, of course, we're getting Asajj Ventress in this set for the first time since 2015. Anyways though, next up for August, we actually have a really interesting set, and well, the set itself isn't interesting, it's just the fact it's releasing this year is interesting, and that's 75433, a play scale Jango Fett Slave 1, with 707 pieces and a retail price of $70 US. As of now, its price has not been raised by tariffs, and it's going to include 3 minifigures, that being Jango Fett, Boba Fett, and a Kaminoan. Now, as of now, we don't know if the Jango Fett and Boba Fett are going to be the same ones from the UCS Slave 1, and I personally don't really care if they're the ones from the UCS set or not. I think the most realistic prediction is that it's going to be the same Boba Fett, but the Jango Fett might not have arm printing, but still, we don't know, and it doesn't really matter either. But the reason I said this was an interesting set for this year is because LEGO is releasing a play scale and a UCS set of the same vehicle in the same year, which they've never done before, or from what I remember, they've never done that before. And I think it's really cool that they're doing it with a Jango Fett set, because not everyone is going to buy that $300 UCS Slave 1, so LEGO is making a Jango and young Boba Fett available in a cheaper set. I mean, it's still $70, but $70 isn't $300. Now, as for the build itself goes, I have very, very low expectations for it, and that's because it has around the same piece count as the 2021 Slave 1, and I think that set is freaking hideous. That's one of the worst Slave 1s LEGO has ever made in terms of just the build, so unfortunately, I think this one is going to look relatively the same as that one. However, again, it's really awesome that people that didn't buy the UCS model are going to be able to get a cheaper Jango Fett for $70 in this set. Next up, we have another set that has actually already been revealed already. This is the only August set that LEGO has revealed so far, and the reason they revealed it early and not the rest of them is because they revealed it on the weekend of Star Wars Celebration, and from what I know, they just wanted something extra to show off there, and they chose this set, which is 75434 K2SO, with 845 pieces and a retail price of $90 US, and I already made a whole entire video on this set giving my full in-depth thoughts, but if you didn't watch that video, in short, I think it looks good, and I'm excited to get it. And then finally, the last set for August, this is another very, very anticipated set that everyone has been hyping up all year, and that's 75435, a Clone Wars MTT, with 976 pieces and a retail price of $160. Its original price was $150, and it's going to include Commander Bly, Ayla Secura, and about 10 B1 battle droids. And to be honest, I thought LEGO would never do this. I thought we would never get a blue and gray Clone Wars MTT. I thought we'd only get the episode 1 version, but I guess we're getting one in 2025, and I could not be more excited. And obviously, with it including Ayla Secura as well as Commander Bly, it's pretty obvious that it's supposed to pair with the 327th battle pack that I talked about earlier. Now, I think it's safe to say that the build itself is going to be relatively the same size as the 2014 MTT. However, I think it'll look much better than that set. I think it's going to have way better shaping, way better detail, and just be an overall better build. And it's said to include 10 battle droids, and I'm pretty sure that 2014 model only included 6. So again, I'm excited for this set. It's going to be downsized and of course overpriced. $160 is crazy, but at least I think it'll look good. Moving on to September, we're only getting one set in September, and that's of course the Advent Calendar, which already has been revealed. Set number 75418 with 263 pieces and a retail price of $45. I actually never get Advent Calendars. I've never really cared about them that much. I know a lot of you guys care about them, so that's why I'm showing it and including it in this video, but I've never been interested in these. However, one thing that's cool about this one is that it's going to include Babu Frick, as you can see down there. Anyways though, moving on to October, we are getting 3 sets on October 1st, and these are going to be the last 3 sets of the year. And as many of you guys know, if not all of you guys know, this is when we're getting what's arguably the most anticipated LEGO Star Wars set, I'd say ever, and that's going to be a $1,000 UCS Death Star. Set number 75419 with 9,019 pieces and obviously a retail price of $1,000, and is going to include 38 minifigures. And honestly, I want to keep my thoughts on this set kind of short. I know that sounds kind of counterintuitive because it's the largest set of the year and the largest LEGO Star Wars set of all time, but I'm honestly just waiting until it gets revealed, and obviously I'll speak more in depthly on it then. But as of now, I think 9,000 pieces for $1,000 is fine, I guess. I imagine there's going to be a lot of large panels on the outside because from what I've heard, this is going to be a fully enclosed Death Star. It's not going to be an open exposed interior like the other playset Death Stars. And with 38 minifigures, I imagine it's just going to include pretty much every character we've seen in the Death Star throughout all the movies, of course from episode 4 and from episode 6, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some Rogue One stuff in there too. This could very well have Director Krennic. But again, despite this being probably the most anticipated LEGO Star Wars set of all time, I'm really just patiently waiting until it gets revealed to give more in-depth thoughts. And then of course, next up we have the gift with purchase for that Death Star, which is going to be a TIE Fighter. Set number 4003 10771 with 236 pieces and 3 minifigures. We don't know what the figures are going to be. I imagine they're not going to be anything too special, maybe just a TIE pilot and 2 stormtroopers, but it's going to have 236 pieces, which is obviously a very low piece count for a TIE fighter, so I imagine it's probably going to be a pretty dumbed down build. I say the best comparison is the Darth Vader's TIE fighter that came in Vader's castle, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, honestly, I don't have much to say about this because, to be honest, I think this is kind of a lame GWP, but it is what it is. And then finally, we have the third set releasing on October 1st, the last set of 2025. It's going to be a Christmas themed set, kind of like the one that we got back in 2023, and it's going to be a Christmas AT-AT, set number 40806 with 697 pieces, 1 minifigure, and a retail price of $80 US. Now, I have no idea what the minifigure is going to be. I'd imagine it could be like a Christmas Maximilian Veers. And then of course you have the AT-AT build itself, which is just going to be a Christmas themed AT-AT, I guess. And it has 697 pieces, which is a low piece count. So like the TIE fighter, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a pretty dumbed down build. But again, we just have to wait and see. Only time will tell. Anyways, guys, that is every LEGO Star Wars set that is still releasing in 2025. Let me know which sets you're most excited for and what your thoughts are on all of these. If you're new, please consider subscribing. And if you want to check out more videos, you can see on the screen right now.